Starfield. Starfield is a game that was announced in 2018, was supposed to come out in 2022, but inevitably came out in 2023. It is the newest big-scale role-playing game by our wonderful Lord and Savior Todd Howard and the wonderful people over at Bethesda Game Studios. When the game came out, the game was reviewed by a lot of people. Some people said it was good, some people said it was bad, but the only people you need to listen to is me, an expert on everything, especially video games. Was it good? Was it bad? People really went both ways, but you don't have to listen to those people because they're stupid. I am an expert on Starfield. So, without further ado, my adoring fans, I give you the only Starfield video you will ever have to watch. The game opens up and you are on an elevator going down into the mine for a company called Argos Extractors, which is explained by the first character you meet, Lynn. And then there's this other guy over there, Heller, who's a big old piece of shit. A big fat sack of shit.
Hey, more minerals, more money.
So eventually you get away from Heller and his incessant bullshit and Lynn tells you to get to work.
That cutter you grabbed and mine what you can.
So you mine, and you get paid less and less and less. But eventually, Lynn tells you to mine this super spooky ghost rock. So of course you do it, because why not? And lo and behold, the super spooky ghost rock does super spooky ghost things. The super spooky ghost rock makes you pass out, and you wake up and Lynn and Heller, still don't like him by the way, are telling you that you've got amnesia, and you forgot everything about your life, which wouldn't have happened if Lynn didn't send me out on this un-union-approved job. And then they give you a slate, and this is where you make your character. So I made Craig. Craig is pretty much myself with all of the attributes that are associated with me, like living in a mansion, being worshipped by my adoring fans, and I have parents. So you quit your job, and on your way out, this guy Barrett comes to you and says, hey, I want that super spooky ghost rock for my club. So you agree to it just to get away from Heller. But before you can, oh surprise, Barrett is in debt to drug dealers. So the drug dealers fly down. And then you dispatch them the only way you know how, because say no to drugs. So after you dispatch of the drug dealers, Barrett is very grateful, and he offers to give you his ship in return for delivering the super spooky ghost rock to his club. So you agree, obviously, because Lynn does not match 401ks. So, this is the part of the game where they give you a spaceship tutorial, which I tried to skip because I am an expert spaceship pilot in real life, so that means it'll translate very well to the game. But I couldn't figure it out, so I did the tutorial. Boom, 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 boom. But before you can do that, you need to kill all the drug dealers that Barrett is in debt to. Because a little voice in your head, at least I think it's a voice in my head, told me to. So that is what I'm going to do. You go through a dungeon, you kill a couple people until you face the leader of the drug dealers. The main drug dealer, if you will. This is where Craig has a choice. He could either convince the drug dealers that there's nothing of value on the ship, because apparently that's what they want to cover Barrett's drug debt. Or you could shoot that conveniently placed red barrel behind him. I decided to go with the latter because say no to drugs. So after all of this bullshit that you see happening on the screen, I'm finally ready to go to the club, having erased Barrett's drug debt. And also, in the process of doing this, I learned that it wasn't a voice in my head, it was actually a robot named Vasco, who has
a variety of species of ant.
So I get to the planet, and then somebody tells me that I need to be scanned.
Prepare to be scanned.
Which for some reason really, really upsets me. I don't know why. So you land on the major planet in the game, at least what I would say is the major planet, and it's honestly very pretty. But my first time there, I didn't really take a lot of time taking in all the sights and looking at all the cool stuff you see before you. I just ran straight for the club. So you'll just have to trust me, it's beautiful. So, here I am, on my way to the Super Spooky Ghost Club, but then he says this to me?
Will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving.
Which, for some reason, really infuriated me. I do not want to be scanned, and I do not consent to your scanning, so I quick-saved, killed everybody, and reloaded. So after all of that hoopla, I decided to go find this club, finally. But I got distracted by a gun shop. And unlike Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, they do not let you pick up the guns and take them to the bathroom to steal them, so I got a little frustrated. So just like that, I find the club. They live in a place called The Lodge, which is going to be the main base of operations for the rest of the game. And this is where you meet all the members of Barrett's club that's apparently called Constellation. So there's a lot of different characters there that I will introduce later on, but right now really all you need to worry about is Sarah Morgan and those beautiful eyes of hers. She says, while I stare longingly into her beautiful eyes, that she has been collecting all of these rocks. Her and the club have been collecting the super spooky ghost rocks. So when you put one down, it does magical spooky shit. So they want to find more of them and complete the thing that these are supposed to be. So before I go and I take on this endeavor for Barrett's club, I decided to do something for myself for a change and go on a little bit of quests. Adventures, if you will. So in my adventures, I went to a space casino where I had to kill some people, I saved some Star Trek people by finding them a place to live, and finally I became a superhero, as if I weren't already one. So after all that, I now feel confident enough to go out there and continue the main mission. Which is, me and Sarah Morgan are going out and chasing some leads to see where we can find more of those super spooky ghost rocks to try to figure out what they are for Barrett's club. First, we talk to a guy on New Atlantis that tells us to go and see a bartender on Sidonia to try to find a UCS Vanguard Marine guy, because he might have information leading us to another one of those ghost rocks. I don't really remember how he knows that this guy has a super spooky ghost rock, but the point is he has one and we're finding him. So we get to the pub, and the bartender tells us that this Vanguard we're looking for, Moira, has a outstanding debt with his pub, and this is where the speech and charisma aspect of the game comes into play. Which is a system I do not really understand, so I failed it. And then Sarah Morgan talked for me, and it lowered the price of his thing to something I could actually pay.
I've done this routine. Let's skip to the part where you admit you're lying about what he owes.
You call me a liar?
So he eventually parts with the information we need, which leads us to attempt to sneak past some Varun Zealot ships, which are ships of crazy religious cultists, and I emphasize the word attempt because I just ran straight for them. I think there was supposed to be a tutorial here about stealthy spaceship maneuvering, but from a role-playing perspective, Craig is not really that type of person. He has parents, a dream home, and he is adored, so which part of stealth spaceship maneuvering really plays into that? Not a whole lot, if you ask me. Satellite informs us in order to continue our goose chase, we need to go look for him over on a star yard, which is a very pleasant place.
Looking at a corpse.
So after a well-fought battle by some eclectic mercenaries,
And this is the story of the time I found out I have dyslexia.
it's another group of bad guys in this game, we finally find a slate that informs us of his location. So the goose chase is almost done, don't worry. We get to his ship, which is attacking us, by the way, but we manage to subdue it, get on board, we take out a couple ecliptic mercenaries on there, and then we grab the rock, which he is using for a hood ornament, this super mystical rock, which is hilarious, I love that. But we grab it, take it back to Constellation, but first I get me and my new girlfriend, or soon-to-be girlfriend, Sarah Morgan, some clothes. Yeah, I haven't mentioned that yet, but me and Sarah Morgan are totally gonna become in love. So me and my soon-to-be bae, we make our way back to Constellation to show everybody the fruits of our labor.
It fits. Energy spiked a bit, but it's restabilized.
Is there anything new showing up?
No, it's the same as before. There's a massive output as the artifact is added, then it harmonizes. Like it's waiting for the others.
What she said, the lady whose name I forgot. There are more rocks, and they have our name on it. But before we go out, I have a few personal errands to run, and one of them is meeting you guys.
Oh, you must have me confused with someone who isn't your #1 fan.
I changed my mind. I hope none of my subscribers are like this guy. This guy is mad annoying. But he might be good cannon fodder, so I let him come on crew of my ship, which I'm not entirely sure what the crew does. Maybe it has something to do with the settlement system. But yeah, he's coming along, and that's that. I also just so happened to get another notification on my Pip-Boy, I mean my watch, or whatever the fuck that watch thing is where you keep all your data in this game. I forget what it is. It's like a circle watch. They put it in the collector's edition, which I do not own, but if you do own it, you probably have mad drip. But back to the point, my drip watch told me to go meet my parents, so I go to meet my parents, and I slowly realize that, these people are not my parents. I feel like I'm in an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So I leave that freak show and continue to go on with the main mission, and hopefully at some point in this game I can find my real parents, because my parents look nothing like that. They look like this. Now, me and Sarah Morgan are off to go find Barrett. I'm not really sure why, because his earthly delights have gotten us into enough trouble as is, but hell, maybe Lynn smacks some sense into him and he's off the sickle tickle sauce. So, we get there and Lynn tells us that things aren't going too hot. Apparently, something involving Barrett's drug problem has got him captured, and also Heller too, but I don't really care about Heller. I hate him. He's a big fat fifth fucking piece of shit.
Hey, more minerals, more money.
I just can't wait to put my fucking shotgun in his face! Oh shit, I was recording. It turns out his personality made me like him, so I invited him to be a crew member on my ship. Moving on. So now we're in the thick of it, trying to go find Barrett, who's surrounded by all these pirate guys, a la the drug dealers we met earlier. Which maybe I'm just bad at the game, but I died twice here on my way to go rescue Barrett, but I did find some cool weapons in the process, so that's on the plus side. And then we find Barrett just chatting up his captors, and I gotta say, sobriety looks great on you, Barrett. Keep it up, man. You get a token. And I love him so much that I ask him to be the best man at me and Sarah Morgan's future wedding, and then Sarah Morgan responds with what?